Sunline releases the replacement to our favorite Defier D-braid, the official release of one of the hottest strolling baits that's going to take the world by storm, and the official release of our custom color cokehead in the Working Class Zero Citizen. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. Welcome back, my friends. I'm Ben with the Hookup Tackle, a Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined this fine Sunday morning by my buddy Jeffrey the King. Jeff, you look happy. You must be going to Japan in a couple days.
Oh, yes, I am.
Back you go.
I am.
Would you like to indulge in a delicious Orion so that it can bring you back, teleport you?
That's crazy that you finally have it again.
Special shout out to my guy for bringing these in. Thank you very much. I've been having an impossible time finding them, but you know, when you have friends in high places, they hook you up.
Yes,
so
sir.
Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday, happy Easter, happy fishing day, happy everything. It's just good to be here. You know why? Because this is the debauchery channel. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle, but we're drinking beer and we're about to talk about cokehead. So,
not very Easter-like.
Listen, it's a party.
You could
24/7 party.
Maybe Snow Bunny would have gone better.
Eggshell.
Eggshell.
There's a lot of ways this could have gone. But
cokehead.
Yeah, that seemed fitting. Okay, well, let's just get right to it. So, one of, if not the best weedless swim bait in probably ever made is this guy right here, the Working Class Zero Citizen. Now, this is something that fortunately we are able to carry from time to time as Mike makes them. This is the new version, and the first time that we've had the new version with that integrated head case harness, and we'll talk about that. But this is a color that we collabed with Mike on to create that I've been dying to have in a Citizen. Mike is not a huge fan of white, doesn't like it, and I am a huge fan of white, so this was kind of a fun collaboration to work back and forth, but I bring to you our white masterpiece, aka cokehead. Now, how did this name come to be, Jeff?
That's a really good question.
So, anytime that I have something that the fish just chew like crazy,
yeah,
I always refer to it as like, dude, that's like crack to them.
This is true.
So I tried to take that, I'm like, well, it's white, crack, like this just makes sense. So thus the name. And it's kind of funny to say. Like, I'm catching on the cokehead.
Crack and coke are two different things.
Yeah, but it's in the same world.
I mean, sure, you can combine
It's like swim baits, bug baits, same, fishing, right? So, here you go. Let's take a look at this color. Now, first off, the Citizen is gonna come in a 6-inch and a 7-inch version. Okay, let me take out so we can see side by side. If you are new to the Citizen, they both almost fish identical. So I choose which one you want. Obviously the 7-inch is larger, but not by much. Like, you know, you just saw the little hype piece that Jeff and Ethan and I shot, you know, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, right as they were moving up. You know, you can skip these into bushes, you can fish them in heavy cover, you can flip them, but the true design is to actually maybe fish them over structure, fish them on weed edges, fish them on rock piles, and that little edge is designed to, you know, really kind of deflect off a cover and does a great job. Jeff, you are a swim bait master, so tell people, if they are new to this, why, when, how, what are we doing with the Citizen? What do you like to do with the Citizen?
So I mean, the Citizen is just one of those baits that if you're fishing an area that you don't want to hang up other soft baits or a hard bait, but you still want to get a bait in there, the Citizen truly is one of the best. Now, Mr. Gilbert makes the Battle Shad, which is very popular as well, but the Battle Shad is more narrow, so that one's better for fishing like around rock and stuff like that. But since the back is much wider, when you put a hook on that, the sides really keep that hook point from really snagging anything. So you can really fish it in that gnarlier stuff. So we're talking about like thick grass, we're fishing the trees, we're fishing around docks, we're fishing just around the really gnarly stuff that you wouldn't really want to put another bait in. And the soft bait's just a great lure to do that with. The ability to fish it in shallow water, deep water, it's just a fantastic soft swim bait. And the material is softer. You can catch fish from 1 pound that we've seen all the way up to 11, 12 plus pound fish.
For sure.
So the 6-inch, I mean, you don't need some special gear for it at all. It's what, maybe an ounce?
It's 1.5 ounce by the time you put your hook on it. Maybe you're still maybe less than 2, but you're in that 1 3/4 probably.
You could throw it all day. It's like you said, it skips really well. It's just overall you can't beat it, honestly. Especially with the new head case harness version now that we have. That head case harness really allows the bait to last a lot longer than the previous ones. So you can get a lot more life out of these baits.
So just since we talked about weight, the 7-inch, just so you guys know, is 2.5 ounce. So by the time you put the hook in there, you're maybe 2 3/4 ounce, something like that. I find that I can throw both of them on the same rod. So I can use something like a TS Destroyer Poker or something like that that's kind of rated to 2 ounce, and it chucks both of them great. So you don't need anything specialty. The reason why I wanted to shoot that height piece where we shot it is because I wanted to show you guys that this can be a power fishing, fun, like heavy cover thing. And so many of you guys fish from ponds, you fish in grass areas, you fish in heavy cover, and so often a swim bait is thought of as like, you know, a deeper water type thing, but this can be money. Now the color is an all white back. It has a purple pearl that's swirling through there. The bottom is a full transparent that has like this aurora green pearl swirling to it. So the color is kind of a two-tone, like a beautiful two-tone white. It looks amazing in all watercolors, and that's really what I wanted to create. I'm a huge fan of white. Our water out here, if I'm fishing Lake Pleasant, it might be like 30-foot visibility. If I go to, you know, Alamo Lake, it might be 2-foot visibility. I go to Saguaro Lake, it might be like lime green algae bloom, right? So we have all these different watercolors. This is a color that works in all of those colors. So no matter what you guys are facing, it'll be a good one. Now, it has that, you know, harness, that new harness in there. So if you guys remember the old version, you would have needed to like twist your beast hook in. Now the twist is built in. So when you guys get your beast hooks, all you have to do is unscrew that CPS spring. So take the CPS spring off, it's built in. And there's a little bit of a gap right there where the hook just attaches right there, and you're good. So it's like a built-in CPS spring. That Chaos air chamber is still in there, so that allows the bait to fold. So, you know, the hookup ratio is great because it folds right there where that hook comes out. It's just a killer bait. So this is an extremely limited run. Hopefully down the road we can do another run, because it's going to be, you know, a staple for a lot of you guys. So scoop them up while you can. They're probably going to fly out of here. You know, I apologize in advance. There's not more to go around and last, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks. But there you go. I think you guys are really going to dig it. There is the new custom color cokehead in the Citizen. Boom. Available while supplies last. I should talk really quick about hooks. So the Citizen is designed around beast hooks, right? So the 6-inch is designed for a 6/0 owner beast hook. The 7-inch is designed for a 10/0 owner beast hook. Now, the 10/0's perfect for this guy. You can use a beast hook or a flashy swimmer. On the 6-inch, it's designed for a 6/0, but you could also use the 8. Okay, so if you use the 8, like on the 8 flashy swimmer, I love that combo. Word of caution, if you go up in size, it will tear the bait a little bit more. So if you want longevity to your bait, I would stay with the 6/0 or the 10/0. If you want a little bit more bite, you can get away with the 8/0. Mended is going to be your friend here. SB Weld is going to be your friend here. Some kind of soft plastic glue is going to be nice to have so you can, you know, keep it in one piece. So enjoy, my friends. Have fun. All right, Jeff. Another worldwide launch.
Okay.
Okay. This is one that you and I got to see in action several weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've been blown away by this thing.
Yeah.
We've had them in our hands. This is something. This is the opposite of the last bait, right? So the Citizen is for all you power fishermen. You know, it's a swim bait world, right? This is for all of you tournament live scope guys. Okay, this is going to become one of the hottest strolling baits. This is from Raid. This is the Super Fish Roller. Okay, brand new. So the fish roller has been kind of like in the world of strolling baits, Sakamata Shad has been like the most popular one, right? The crack. The one that has been super low-key underground right below Sakamata Shad has been the 4-inch fish roller, which we'll talk about in a minute, okay? A lot of elite guys, Major League Fishing guys, trying to keep that one secret, okay? But word's starting to get out and they're flying. This is gonna blow some people's minds. So this is the new Super Fish Roller. It's available in two sizes, a 5-inch and a 6.5-inch. So I'm gonna start right here on the 5-inch. So what is different about this is this bait was completely designed start to finish for mid-strolling. Okay, so if you think of like the Sakamata Shad, that bait wasn't designed for strolling. That bait was designed to be like a fluke kind of bait, right? Just ended up being a good strolling bait, okay? This was thought of and designed from start to finish as a strolling bait. So this is the Super Fish Roller. So what that means is the plastic was built to be buoyant, so it has a high float to it. It is built if you wanted to fish it in a different way, like if you wanted to just rig it like on an underspin or something like that, you could. But the bait is hollow in the middle to trap air to keep it level. Okay, so even on a slow roll, this bait isn't going to sink or alter its movement. It's going to stay level at all times. You'll notice that it's higher. So when you use this correctly, it literally rolls perfectly and so easy. So much easier than any bait I've seen. It literally strolls left to right and it's crazy. And you can work it slow because of that air and it really gets this amazing roll going. Now, on top of the bait, there are grooves, both for the hook slot and for where the jig head is going to go into the bait. Okay, and I'll show you guys this on a 6.5 as well, and then I'll rig one up so you can see it. Okay, so you're going to rig it with the head above the eyes on this one, not right in the middle. I mean, you can do it however you want, but designed to be just above the eyes. Now, if you look at the side of the bait, it's almost like this diamond scaling, right? They wanted to make it similar to like, you know, a spinnerbait, like a hammered spinnerbait blade. Similar idea to where as this thing is flashing side to side, it's giving off like, you know, that flash or that blink that a spinnerbait blade would do to give the fish a different look. Now, it's available in some standard colors like Zaco, like what I have, right? It's also available in some real fish skin colors. It's also available in some new colors. So I'm going to show these to you. So this is Inako, okay, which is just a beautiful like clear with a black back type color. Looks super sick. Lively Shart. So again, a really faint chartreuse and a clear body. That one looks amazing. Jewel Wakasagi, which I giddy over this one. A little bit of a goldish back, a little bit of purple, and then again, that clear belly. And then finally, it is also available in Kiwami Ayu. Kiwami Ayu is also a color that was in the Osakana slide last week. Now it is available in the Super Fish Roller. And of course, it's going to be available in all the other standard colors that Raid makes in this guy as well. So as far as rigging, you're going to want like a size 1 probably, or maybe 1/0 for the head. You could use a range roller, you could use a horizon head, whatever you want. But the size 1/0 or 1 is kind of the perfect. I would do 1/0. probably on this. You can try a 3/0, but in Japan they're throwing it on the 1/0, so that's what I would do. Now, let's jump over to the 6.5 inch size. Okay, so now we're getting much bigger. What's dope about this is historically larger baits, like, you know, the 5-inch Sakamata Shad's like the main size, right? And then a lot of guys like the 4-inch as well. By the time you get to the 6-inch and the 7-inch, the bait just weighs so much, it's hard to stroll because there's so much salt in it that it's hard to really get, because you got to work it so fast, it's hard to keep it up. So now we have a larger strolling bait designed specifically for strolling. So you still have that air chamber in the middle. The plastic is made for it to stay horizontal like this. Okay, so you've got this big bait now, so that as you're strolling and live scoping fish that are eating, you know, full-size thread fins, bluegills, gizzard shad, crappie, that kind of stuff, we don't have to throw these little tiny micro baits that can move. Now you can throw a man-sized bait at them, right? And this thing, the bigger they get, the more exaggerated that roll is. If you guys just do that steady little movement with it, it's going to roll side to side perfectly. If you give it a hard pop, it will even spin in like a complete circle and then keep going, which can be a trigger effect as well. So if you get this kind of roll side, 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 give it a hard pop, it will literally kind of roll like that and then go back to the movement, which is pretty cool as well. Now, these will eventually be available in the entire color line. They had a little bit of just production capacity issues, so they're trying to make so many. So only 3 colors on the initial release. The rest of them will probably be here next week or the week after. But you have Jewel Wakasagi, you have Kiwami Ayu, and you have Zako. So, you know, kind of the key colors anyways in there. So there you go, 6.5 and 5. You can see the size difference, right? Pretty big. Let's rig one up really quick. Okay, so 4 heads, you guys can grab like the Horizon head, LG, this is a popular one. You can grab the Range Roller, we talk about this one all the time. I would stay in one of the smaller hook sizes for the 5, and then maybe go to like a 2/0 or a 3/0 for the 6.5 inch size. Here, let me just rig one up really fast and I will show you guys this. Okay, now as far as weight goes, you guys can use any weight depending on how fast you want it to go, how deep you want it to go, so on and so forth, right? So again, if you look at these baits, there are notches on the head. See, there's like a 1, 2, 3 notch on there. I don't know if you can, if it shows up well. And then there are further notches down here where the hook comes out, okay? These notches on the head are designed to guide you to where you want that hook to be. So if you use the middle notch, that's going to be the most level horizontal, okay? If you use the front notch, it's going to be slightly nose down. If you use that rear notch, it's going to be slightly tail down, just to give you different movements, different actions, different speeds out of it, okay? So what you're going to do is you're just going to go right in that middle notch, okay? And you're just going to thread that sucker on. Super easy. And then use those notches on the back just to come out. Make sure it's straight. There you go. Okay, so when it's rigged, that head is going to be on top of the bait like that, just kind of in between the eyes. Okay, that's going to be the rigging. And then as you're twitching it, it's going to just have this amazing, unbelievable roll. And that's a 1/0 range roller on that guy. So again, if you went to the 6.5, I'd probably go to the 3/0, right, just to give yourself a little bit more gap. And it's perfect. So there you go, guys. You're gonna catch a gazillion fish on these. I'm gonna do my best to keep them in stock. But there you go, the Super Fish Roller from Raid, now available. All right, while we are on strolling and Raid and fish rollers, the 4-inch is officially back as well. So last week we had the 3-inch. This week we have the release of the Super Fish Roller and the restock plus new colors in the 4-inch. Now, like I said, this has been kind of the hush-hush secret. So many people think it's the Jackal drift fry, right? And I know a lot of you guys catch them on that, and it's a good strolling bait. But that's not the one that anybody's actually using. Everybody's using the Sakamata Shad and the Fish Roller. Those are the 2 main ones that everybody's using. So, if you're missing it, if you're waiting for them to come back, all the colors are back, okay? So the Zakos, the Sandfish, the Stealth Fish, the Whites, all kinds of new fish skin, right? So the fish skin is just gonna be a little bit more of like a realistic, almost like a real print on there. And there's new colors, all the new colors transfer over, so Jewel Wakasagis, all the colors we just talked about in the larger ones. I wanted to show you the size difference. By the way, rigging for these, you can stay with that range roller. I'd probably just do the 1/0, but you could throw a 3 on there, but I would use the 1/0, it's probably perfect. Or you can hover shot these. Okay, so Ryugi hover shot hooks, all back in stock as well. I want to make sure we had plenty of hover shot and mid-strolling heads in for you guys. So if you'd prefer to hover shot them, just a little nail weight in the nose, hover shot hook, I'd probably go the size 1 or size 2. So you can choose which one you want to do, but I just want to show you a side-by-side comparison here of each size. So let me take a 4-inch out. This will also be good because Jewel Wakasagi in the Superfish Roller is a normal color. Jewel Wakasagi in the 4-inch fish roller is a fish skin. Okay, so it's more of that real print. So you can see there's some extra scaling in there, there's little fins, right? But this is the 6.5. 6.5, 5, 4. Okay, yeah, same. So there you go. So just depending on what size you need it to be, what you need it to do. But again, the 4-inch is going to be amazing, hover or mid-stroll. 5, 6.5, really designed for that mid-stroll. So knock yourself out, guys. Have fun. All available right now. All right, one more raid. We launched these, I think it might have been last week. I don't know. Everything's all blending together in my head. All my weeks are running together. But the brand new Bluegill Gate. Oh, 3 sips of Orion and I am messed up. Or was it the cokehead? I don't know. Brand new bluegill bait from Raid, the Hira Tailor. Okay, means flat. We launched them. They sold out almost instantly. I was floored. So they are back. Okay, so all the colors from green pumpkin to the gills to the shad, so on and so forth. If you guys missed it, just a really quick refresh.
I even missed the video that we posted.
Yeah, we even posted a video about it where we sat down with Kanamori and went through it and let him explain it. So that was only last week. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. You can learn all the riggings, why he developed it, how he developed it. But basically, it is a 4.7-inch bluegill bait. You can see kind of the perfect size, or bluegill profile bait. It's designed to combine like the best of all the bluegill baits. He took the best of the bull flap, the best of the bellows gill, the best of, you know, all the gill baits that he likes, tried to combine them into one, so you get, you know, a bait that strolls great on a jig, you get a bait that has a really great movement to it, you get a bait that has the spiral fall, but it could also be a big bait that twists so that the hookup ratio is really good on it. Okay, so I think you guys are going to catch a ton of fish on it. You can Texas rig, free rig, you know, stroll with it, weightless, however you want to do it. But those are back from Raid, and those are available right now. All right, Jeff, if you could only see the DMs over the last 2 to 3 months since Sunline announced that the Sunline Defire D braid, the beautiful pink braid that we fell in love with and everybody fell in love with after they killed it, like just slaughtered it.
Ugh. Gone. See you later.
Discontinued, gone. Oh, you guys like that?
See you later.
I'm gonna kill it, right?
Now what?
Dude, every day, 15, 20 guys like, what do I do? I'm out of braid, right? And so, fortunately, there's other good braids. And there's been good options, alternatives, whether it's Siglon AMZ, whether it's YGK, like, there's good options out there. But, deep down inside, we've been like, God, I missed that D braid. God, I should have bought 100 spools. Yeah. Well, there's a replacement.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry. It's never coming back, Jeff. But the replacement to the D braid is here, okay? Look, I didn't pick the name. I liked the name Defire D braid. But now you can let it be known as the Sunline Almight.
Okay.
Okay? Same concept as D braid. Okay? So it is going to be that cord braid, just like the D braid was. It's the cord braid that basically what it does, it's a 4-strand braid with a solid core. And what that does, that core is designed to eliminate like wind knots. It's designed to manage really, really well. All of you guys that used D-braid in the past fell in love with it, right? Just because it's an easy to manage line, right? Now, most of you in the beginning were kind of like, really, pink? Right? I mean, you know, we're men, we're bass fishermen. We can't be using sissy pink line, right? Until you realize how good it was, and then everybody wanted the pink braid. Funny how that happened, right? It's kind of like Morning Dawn RoboWorm. Yeah, when that first came out, it's like, what kind of stupid stuff is that? Worm? Pink worm?
Oh, you won the last 10 tournaments or something?
Oh, every tournament is one on the pink worm? Yeah, let me give you that. Yeah. Okay, so the pink stays. Originally, this was going to go away. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It can't go away. So the pink stays. Okay, so virtually the same. It feels the same. It's built the same. Difference, it's slightly, and when I say slightly, it's like hundredths of a gram difference in weighting, slightly more neutral dense. So slightly faster falling, closer to a fluorocarbon. The old one was very close to fluorocarbon. It still had a little bit of float on it. This one's almost like a true fluoro. So it's gonna sink at the same rate as a fluoro, which is nice because you're not gonna have that floating braid that goes down to your bait. It's all gonna kind of sink at the same time. It's gonna just give your bait better action, maintain a better feel, okay? Now, on top of the pink, because I know a lot of you guys just can't embrace the pink, or maybe you want something less fizz. They also have released it in a camo. Okay, so this is a really cool camo. It's an olive camo. It reminds me a lot of the YGK camo. Okay, very, very similar. I'm gonna take out a couple strands so you guys can see it. So it is an olive-based line, so kind of that dark green line, where it also has some alternating colors. So it kind of goes from
show me this wool.
Olive green to black to orange. Okay. So you're gonna get every few feet, there'll be just a little subtle orange so that you still have visibility, but the majority of the line is gonna be that kind of olive green or black or more, you know, low vis, right? So you've got two options now. You've got a straight high vis pink, you've got kind of a mid vis olive camo. Sizing, all the sizes stay. So you've got 7.2 pound. Now remember, this is 7.2 pound, but it's actually in Japanese go sizing, okay? So it's actually a 0.4 go, okay? So you have to kind of upsize at least one full size if you want it to match what you're used to throwing in like a Seagar or a J-braid or a Power Pro, something like that, right? If you're used to the D-braid, the sizes are the same, okay? So there's 7.2. There is an 11 pound, there's a 13 pound, a 16.5, an 18.5, and a 22.5, okay? So 22.5 is 1.5 go, the 18.5 is 1.2 go, the 16.5 is 1 go. That's that pound, by the way, that's what we're talking about. So depending on how you size your line, the 13 pound is 0.8 go, the 11 pound is 0.6 go, and the 7.2 is 0.4. Okay, so there you go. Knock yourselves out. Available now from Sunline, the new Almight. Almight. All right, Jeff, really quick restock. I just wanted to mention Megabass here really quick. So you know the Classic was last weekend.
Yep.
Another Bassmasters Classic, another 110+1 victory. It seems like every 2 years the 110+1 is winning another victory. So they've been flying out of here. We brought in some Japan-only colors last week. They evaporated. We got more in. If you guys are waiting for, say, like Matt Shad, should be here soon, right? If you guys are waiting for like the Classic color launch, we did find out we will be getting a few, so that'll be next week. But if you guys need some now, there's a few key colors that are back from Japan. When they're gone, they're gone. So MG Vegetation Reactor, this is a great springtime color, is in the regular 110 and the +1. MRB is also available. There's some fine art colors available. There's some +1 colors like Cotton Wakasagi that are back that I think people aren't finding. Secret Shadow, right? So if you're in the market for 110s, +1s, if you're kind of just prepping for the season, this is a great week to check them out. So check those out. Those are available while supplies last from Megabass. Many of you have become experts at freeze framing. Okay, now this is something that we used to do, or that I used to do all the time, because, you know, pros lie, right? Bunch of liars out there. This is Easter. It's time for you guys to repent. It's time for me to drink beer. Cheers. Cheers to the sinners. All right. It is just customary for pros to only mention their sponsored baits. But if you freeze frame, you know those guys aren't throwing those things, right? And the jerkbait that has really been dominating, I wish I could show you what's been happening in my DMs and orders, that kind of stuff, right? This bad boy. The OSP Rudra is taking the world by storm. Now, this is an amazing jerkbait that we've all implemented into our lineups over the years. The other one that you saw at the Classic, if you freeze framed a lot, is that one, the OSP Varuna. So a lot of the guys are mixing in the Varuna and the Rudra, and one of the big reasons, when you need a light line jerkbait, the 110 is the deal. Like, it's been the deal for 20 years. It's gonna always be the deal. It's just amazing. If you're throwing 6 pound, 8 pound, 10 pound, maybe 12, that one's the deal. But when you need a bait to throw on heavier line, heavier cover, and you still need it to move, and you're gonna maybe weight it for scope to where you're gonna put the weight, maybe float it a little bit, the OSPs just are magical, right? So, in honor of that, we've got some new colors and a huge restock across the board. Okay, so Rudra is going to see 4 new colors and a huge restock across the board. Okay, so if you're into Rudra, this is the time to get it. Now, this is the Rudra SP 130 millimeters. It's a great bait just to go fishing. That's how I use it. But if you're a scoper, it's almost becoming the must-have as well. So those are back. Because a lot of you guys are using the bait as a scope bait, and you're weighting it now to float it, to, you know, to kind of sink it down to the fish, the floating Rudra has actually become super popular as well, because the buoyancy is different. So if you're gonna weight it, the bait kind of sits naturally up. You don't have to add that little strip of foam to the top to where it kind of keeps it horizontal. You can just weight strip it, and the bait's naturally gonna maintain its profile, so you can sink it down and work it. So new colors. We just brought the entire line in on the floating Rudra. So if you guys aren't scoping, this is going to be a good option for fishing high in the column, over grass edges, over brush, shallow water. If you guys are scoping, this is going to be an amazing one to weight and sink down to the fish, you know, maintain its posture. So those are in. And then also a ton of new colors and restock in the Varuna SP as well, which is the other, you know, great heavier line, hard jerking, fast moving jerkbait from OSP, both the SP and the floating versions. Okay, so there you go. You can stock up Varuna float, Varuna SP, Rudra float, Rudra SP, all available now from OSP. I know there's a lot of guys that just, they despise live scope, right? That's not fishing, right? I need a square bill, I need a jig. I got you. I got you. Okay. The square bill that's asked about more than any square bill, just because of production, they only really produce it once a year, so when they're gone, is finally back from OSP. The HPF Crank Spec 2 is back from OSP, and there's 5 new colors in this bad boy. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of hold up the new colors. So we're seeing some of like the matte chartreuse back bluegill, the matte funa. There's some new clown colors. There's matte chartreuse, right? And then some of the old standbys like bone chartreuse shad, or bone tasty shad, funa rin, that kind of stuff are back as well. But let's take this out and we'll talk about it. So the HPF Crank Spec 2. This is a flat-sided crankbait. That's, you know, flat-sided crankbaits are amazing crankbaits for fishing. I would say more like the open water call, like just cast and wind. You don't necessarily even have to grind them off stuff. They come through grass very well. It's a great open water, so if you're fishing down a dock or like riprap, amazing baits. The OSPs all have a circuit board lip. It's a very thin circuit board, so effortlessly when you turn the handle, it's automatically digging. You can fish this at a lot of different speeds. You go slow, you go fast. The Spec 2 is a silent, okay, which is nice because it's just purely the bait moving through the water. You're not gonna have any rattle or thumping or knocking. So it's kind of like the ideal one to have in the lineup. So if you guys have been waiting on the HPF cranks to come back, this is your week. There you go. I'm gonna spec it out just in case you guys aren't utilizing it, that you know what you're in for. But 63 millimeters, 9 grams, so you're about 3/8 of an ounce there. There you go. The HPF Spec 2 back from OSP and new colors. All right, staying on, shallow power fishing stuff, right? Another popular bait gets a couple new colors. This is the OSP Buzzin Crank. Actually, OSP's first bait. Okay, so the first bait they ever put out. All the popular colors like TG Sunfish and KO Shard are all back. We also see Ghost Lime Shard, American Sunfish. We see some new colors in this. This is a rattling wake bait. Okay, so it's small, it's tiny, but it's easy to cast. It's 50 millimeters, 10 grams. Easy to throw, a great one for fishing high in the column. Buzzin Crank is back. The Blitz SSR also returns. Okay, so you've got the super shallow running Blitz is back in all the key colors as well. 51 millimeters, 8 grams. So again, you're kind of in that same weight range, but this is gonna be perfect for like that, 1 to 2 foot Blitz. Perfect for that. So those all return as well this week from OSP. All right, and then staying high in the column, we see 2 new colors land. And one of the funnest topwater / jerkbait, I'm gonna call it topwater, but you fish it a lot like a walking bait and it turns into a jerkbait sometimes. That's the Bent Minnow. So we see Delicious Wakasagi and the Matte HF come into this one as well. So this is gonna be available in all sizes of the Bent Minnow. So depending on what you want, if you like that 80 size, 70 size, or the 106 size, they're going to be available in all super cool baits. So new colors in that guy. And then for you guys that are just stuck in deeper water because it's still cold where you are, the Asura EX DR returns again. So we brought them back in a few weeks ago. They evaporated out. They're back in all colors. So if you missed out, this is a great chance to scoop this up. This is going to be a deep diving jerkbait that you can fish down to 20 feet if you want to dare the lines. If you want to go down to like 6 pound, you can get down to 20 feet. If you want to stay in like a 10 pound, you can easily fish that 14, 15 foot depth. So great new bait from OSP, the Asura EX DR, available now. All right, Jeff, let's jump over to Lucky Craft for a second and talk about a few new offerings this week from Lucky Craft. So LZ 1.0 and LZ 1.0 DD DRS, so deep diving, deep rattling sound, in Gizzard Shad are now available. Okay, so Gizzard Shad quickly becoming, it's been one of Griff's colors. I blame Griff for all of this. He's been absolutely destroying them for the last couple of years, and now it's just becoming a staple. So it's cool to see it expanding through the lines. So this is a look at the 1.0 DD DRS, deep rattling sound. All right, so it's just kind of that one knock, but super sexy size. Just nice, small, just a classic shad pattern. So those are available this week from Lucky Craft. We also see this guy, the Slim Shad D9 return, but this time in pearl threadfin shad. So this showed back up a couple months ago in Ghost Minnow, and now we have it in pearl threadfin shad. So this is going to be kind of like a Stacy style bait. So again, this is going to be for you guys that are still fishing deeper water. Designed as a kind of a shad style bait, but it can have the ability to be much more aggressive. So you can do, sweepy type motions with it, but you can also pop it and rip it. And this bait can be worked aggressive as well as finesse. Okay, so it's gonna get down like that 9-10 foot, thus the name Slim Shad D9. So that is available also from Lucky Craft. And then a bait that everybody uses when they're on small stuff sees 5 Japan only colors come into it. This is the Lucky Craft Sammy 65. Okay, so a little special JDM color splash of the Sammy 65. This is probably the most famous downsizing little walking topwater bait on the market. 65 millimeters, obviously, 5.5 grams, so it's lightweight. This is usually something you'd throw on a spinning rod, but bait finesse rods can cast them great as well. But you've got colors like Wakasagi, MS Wakasagi, purple shards, right? Real Tane Wakasagi, some really cool colors in that Sammy 65 is kind of a special offering from Lucky Craft. Also, you Sammy 100 fans are going to find some colors that haven't been around for a while, like Lake Murray Clear, some of those more clear tones. So, you know, post-spawn, when they start feeding on those little fry, these, you know, whether they're clear colors or, you know, downsizing baits can be really, really important. So, you know, those are available while supplies last. And then going the opposite way, for you guys that need a man square bill, we see a huge restock, probably the first, you know, resupply of these guys that we've seen in a long time. This is the SKT 110 Mag MR. So this guy's 110 millimeters, it's 56 grams, so you're right at that 2-ounce mark. We see, you know, return of all the normal colors, but we also see some new color additions in it, which is interesting because I didn't think Lucky Craft was still making this bait. I'm glad they are, because this is a staple for a lot of guys. This was kind of the big square bill that everybody used before the Evoke, right? So even though it's a square bill, this is a square bill that you can fish in 8, 10, 12 feet of water, no problem. And it moves just like a square bill. So you can see it's a big bait, but when they're wanting a big bait, when they're eating big gizzards, crappie, you know, big craws, that kind of stuff, it could be a really effective one. So the SKT MR, those also return, plus new colors from Lucky Craft. All right, Jeff, quick little restock from Ryugi. Pretty much every hook and weight Ryugi makes is back. So, and even accessory things like glide hangers and bobber stops. So if you guys have been waiting on anything, this is the time to do it. Just a quick little note, item bags are also back from Ryugi. This is a really cool item. We sell gazillions of them when we have them. We don't have them very often because it's not the easiest thing to ship. Right, so it requires shipping via boat because they're kind of big and bulky. So we only see them a couple times a year, but it's a super cool bag. It's available in black, white, and that Ryugi green, kind of that OG green. But basically what's different about this versus like a, I don't know, like a Megabass bag. I mean, a lot of companies have these bags. This one's a clear top, which is nice. So if you have multiples, you can literally look in and be like, oh, that's my spinnerbait bag, or my, you know, for in your case, like, oh, there's my bug baits, right? It also has the ability to have dividers. Okay, so there's Velcros on the side. It comes with 2 internal dividers. These can come out if you want to take them out, or you can leave them in. You can make it different, you know, sizes. So if you wanted to put multiple things in, you can. So just a cool little bag from Ryugi. Super practical. Everybody needs bags, so those are back. And then the hook and weight tank are also back. Okay, so all sizes, the medium, the large, the extra large. These are amazing. This is what I store all my hooks and weights in. I store all my trout lures in these as well. So if you guys are stream fishing, using small little bait finesse baits or whatever, these are amazing bait finesse tackle boxes because they're just big enough to lay them all in there. They're super hard. So I mean, you can throw these things, crush them with rocks, whatever, they won't break. And they float, right? So if you tumble down a hill and you bang it around and all the rocks and your bag opens and all your shit goes flying into the river, you just walk out in the river and you pick it up. And it's,
could walk after all
if you, yeah, trust me, I've seen Andrew break his ankles like every time I go with him. Ankles of glass. Yeah. So it's waterproof, it's durable, it's a great one to have. In a boat, it's nice because you can have like your drop shot box, you can have your free box, you can just kind of, you know, smaller little boxes to where they're organized. So worth checking out if you guys need organization. Those are back from Ryugi. All right, Jeff, I'm sure you've noticed that I'm wearing a button-up shirt today.
I did.
This is my dress wear.
I could tell.
Right? Yeah, I mean, you saw it in Japan. We had really important meetings.
Right.
I put on my dress Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my slummy
No.
Sims or my generic. Like, you gotta have a button-up.
Yeah.
Right? This is the Intruder hoodie. Okay? This is one of my favorite fishing shirts. It's an amazing fish shirt. At the core of the shirt, it's a fishing shirt. Designed for like flats, hot weather, humid weather. It's a combination of a really light ripstop and Solarflex material. Okay, so the Sim Solarflex is going to be under the shoulder. It's going to be on the sides, on the back, but then you're going to have this really light, breathable ripstop on the front that just maintains a little bit more of a posture. You have button-up snaps, you have a chest pocket, you've got a great hood, so that same hood from Solarflex on there that has the buttons, so if you guys like wearing the hood, you get the full coverage on there, which is nice. Ooh. But 2 new logos. Well, logos we've done before, but new for this shirt. So we have our smallmouth eating a 110. How's my back look?
It looks massive.
Yeah, I know.
Wide.
Okay. So smallmouth eating a 110 in the brown. And then a largemouth eating an ice slide in the blue. Okay, so there's a blue and a brown. Super cool shirts, nice Stockton artwork on there. Those are available one time only, available now. All right, Jeff, and then let's wrap it up with a new reel offering from Shimano. This is the brand new 2024 Shimano SLX 70A. So this is a new upgraded SLX. SLX, one of our best selling, I'm gonna call it a price point reels. A lot of guys just don't want to jump into, you know, a Metania, a Zillion, that higher end reel, but still want a ton of bang for the buck. The SLX has always kind of delivered that. So this is the new 70 size. It's going to be very similar in performance to what you guys are used to out of SLX, but you have the new silent tune. It's super smooth. You have the new MGL 3 spools, so you're going to have better casting with lighter weight stuff. So if you're putting a 70 size on, you're probably throwing like a lighter jerk bait, more finessey type stuff. That new spool is going to help a lot. So it's a good solid option for you guys if you're a righty. If you're a lefty, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Thank God some of us know how to fish on the right hand side. But it's available in a 7-to-1 and an 8-to-1. The lefties should be here any time as well. So if that speaks to you, you guys have been waiting. There you go, the new SLX 70 from Shimano. Those are available now as well. All right, my friends, and that is a wrap. That was some good stuff in there.
There actually was.
Yes.
Like actually.
Yeah. What was your favorite, Jeff?
Probably the Blitz SSR.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always an adventure when I ask that question with you.
What else would there be?
Why the Blitz SSR? I'm curious.
It's just shallow running.
And that's you.
Crankbait.
You're shallow guy.
Super shallow.
Yeah.
Right?
You used to be a swimbait guy. It would have been the Citizen in the past.
A long time ago.
Done.
Right. But that for like Steel Indian, so you can fish right above the.
So for the shitholes that you and I fish all the time, you're right. That is probably the most realistic thing that we, right above the garbage cans and the
trash bags,
the heroin needles,
yeah.
and the so grocery carts that are pushed in. Smart. You are right. See, I would have picked the Buzzin Crank. Then it's never touching one of those things, except you're skimming the trash bags now too. There's a blend. It's got to be in between the floating bags and the muck on the bottom. Guys, if you have any questions on anything that we talked about today, from bait selection, colors, rigging, anything, drop it down below and I will definitely get answers for you. Jeff put links, of course, to the products. You guys can check them out if you would like. On behalf of myself, Jeff, Griff, everybody here at the Hookup Tackle Guys, thank you for giving us time on your Sunday mornings. Happy Easter to you if you're celebrating Easter. Happy Sunday to you if you are not. Go hug your family. Go catch a giant fish if you can. Enjoy the new tackle. And if you can find the most delicious beer from the beautiful island of Okinawa, Orion, definitely scoop that up as well. We'll see you next week, my friends. Cheers. Peace. Happy Sunday.